light has weight and not his question a great mistake, cause now I feel the ultraviolet closing in to suffocate. Does it take long and does it hurt to close your eyes and leave this earth? Will I fall prey to false alarms until I'm crushed into the dirt? Feel it's coming on again. The world is coming to an end. I feel the overflow. Needles in the red and I'm sure something's gonna blow. I'm not prepared for this, so tell me, is there more than fleeting hope? Would you miss me, mom and dad? Please someone take me home. Take me home. Step outside, I breathe the air. I feel the wind blow through my hair. I feel the ground begin to tremble in my mind and everywhere. I look so hard just to find a simple place to stand in time, to stretch my arms, to feel alive before I'm flattened under light. It's hopeless. I feel the overflow. Needles in the red and I'm sure something's gonna blow. I'm not prepared for this, so tell me, is there more than fleeting hope? Would you miss me, mom and dad? Please someone take me home. Take me home. Take me home. Someone asked if light has weight and not his question a great mistake, 'cause now I feel the ultraviolet closing Someone asked if light has weight and not his question a great mistake, 'cause now I feel the ultraviolet closing in to suffocate. Does it take long and does it hurt to close your eyes and leave this earth? Will I fall prey to false alarms until I'm crushed into the dirt? Feel it's coming on again. The world is coming to an end. I feel the overflow. Needles in the red and I'm sure something's gonna blow. I'm not prepared for this, so tell me, is there more than fleeting hope? Would you miss me, mom and dad? Please someone take me.
Alrighty, what is up, everybody? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're having a good day. I'm having a very low energy day. It's one of those days. I don't even know. I'm not even sure if my mic is positioned properly. I didn't test stuff out today. I'm a little bit forgetful today, but you know what? It's fine. Hopefully you guys are doing good. No. Let me double check a thing, because I feel like I forgot another thing. It's one of those days. I'm having a weird day. I've had some, I guess, personal stuff, not necessarily come up, but definitely been on my mind. And it's been like a weird sort of thing for me. But you know what? I figured, since I didn't stream yesterday, because I was sleep deprived and everything was being weird, everything's still being weird today, and by everything I mean my eyeballs. So I figured, you know what, fuck it, we're just gonna chat today. Cause like, if I fall asleep now, I'm not gonna sleep at night, cause that's what happened yesterday. And I don't want to repeat performance. So, that, and I'm kind of bored. So, why not chat with y'all? You know? It's gonna be one of those days. And that's totally okay, honestly. Let me make sure all irrelevant things are closed on my phone, so I don't have to worry about distractions. Looks like we're good. Looks like everything's good. You know. And like, you know what, I figured
Tiff-Tiff-B.
we'll just have good vibes
Said
today.
hi, Minnie.
What's up, Tifa? Welcome in. How you doing today? How does everything sound? It seems like I'm coming through just fine if OBS is trustworthy. It's usually not terrible. So, you know.
Tiff-Tiff-B. Said I'm good. I can hear you.
Awesome. Awesome, awesome. Like, everything should be fine. I'm just paranoid because I was dumb and didn't test things ahead of time. So that's a me problem, but I'm pretty sure I'm good, so. Actually, I think I might be peeking a little bit. I'm not gonna worry about it. I don't feel like solving technical issues today.
Tiff-Tiff-B.
I'm not even kidding.
Said and today's the hottest day in the year for UK so far.
Oh,
Yay.
it is stupid hot right now. It is stupid hot right now. I actually looked at the weather not too long ago. And it was like, oh, so it's gonna rain today. Sure enough, it's raining. And they're like, yeah, so, we've got another flood risk today. And it says 27 Celsius, mostly cloudy, feels like 37. I hate it. I hate it. So I'm not thrilled. I hate weather this hot. I know there are places around the world that like regularly get this hot, and I'm like, how do y'all deal? How do y'all deal? Because I could
Simeon.
not.
Said hello everyone.
Swift, welcome in. How you doing today? I'm complaining about the weather apparently, and you know, I'm very, very thankful for air conditioner. I'm gonna be completely real. Why is slow mode on? Excuse me? That was supposed to be turned off. Hang on. Yeah, can we turn that off, please? There we go. Wait. Turn off slow mode. I'm trying to. Why is it not working? Oh. Okay, so it's weird. It's telling me that I'm using the command to turn slow mode off, and it's like it's not in slow mode. But I see a little thing that says it's in slow mode. I don't understand. Sure, whatever. Let's see. Yeah, okay, that's weird. I don't know what's going on with that. I'm not gonna worry about it. Not today. It's fine. It's probably off and I'm just being weird. But yeah, sorry. I was complaining about the weather and everything's weird. My brain space is weird today. So, I was gonna play more Mystery Dungeon today. That was the original plan. But like, I don't have the brain power for that today. I don't have the brain power for a lot of things, if I'm being completely honest. So, we're just here chatting today. Which I figured, you know, that's not a bad thing. Y'all seem to enjoy the chat streams, so, I mean, I've got nothing to complain about, really. I'm just like, I don't know what I want to talk about today, if I'm being real. But we'll figure it out. We usually do, right? Usually something happens that derails my original plan, if there ever is a plan. And we end up rambling for, I don't know, 2 hours. So, I just kind of... I'm like, this is what we're gonna do. No plan, nothing going on. We're just here. So, yeah. Sorry, I have cherry coke. Yet again. That's been my drink of choice lately. Good old cherry coke. But now that I'm thinking about it, I do have a couple of, I guess, updates. We are moving Friday's stream, so the plan for this week was meant to be, my birthday celebration was going to be like a whole 3-day thing. But, you know, certain plans have changed. My Saturday plans have been canceled. So, we're doing a Saturday stream for my birthday. And it's going to be on my actual birthday. Same plan. We're starting Paper Mario the Thousand Year Door that day. But it's just going to happen on the 3rd instead of the 2nd. So, you know, that's cool. Because Friday my mom's coming by and we're going for, like, lunch or whatever. That's going to be a thing. And then Sunday should still be karaoke. You know. So that'll be exciting. That'll be very exciting. That's pretty much my whole update. Like, I'm just like, things got slightly moved around. Stuff didn't really go according to plan, unfortunately. But we're making it work. We're making it work for the best. And that's the important thing. I'm one of those people, right? When I plan stuff out ahead of time and then, like, almost... It's not really last minute, but it's last minute enough that since it's been derailed, it bothers me. But I'm also like, it's not that big of a deal. It's really, really not. I'm way more bothered than I should be about it. But it's gonna be fine. And this is me just reassuring myself at this point. If anything, my anxiety is coming from other personal matters. I'm not gonna go into details, but my mom kind of sprung something on me yesterday. And it would... Okay, a little bit of detail, I guess. My cousin's getting married in September, and we're supposed to have RSVP'd and stuff by Saturday. I didn't know that it was happening in September until yesterday. And my mom was like, so, you know, if you come, you gotta give, like, this much for the gift, and then we gotta pay for transportation, and a motel, and all this other stuff, and clothing, and all the things, and it's gonna cost a stupid amount of money. And I'm like, okay, that's cool and everything. Why are you only telling me this now? Because I assume she's known for a bit. And then she's like, oh, well, you know, stuff happened, I just forgot. And I'm like, I was annoyed. Because I'm like, should have told me sooner, I could have planned for it better. So today I had to tell her no. Because I was like, I'm going to take the night to think about it. Right? And like, I don't necessarily want to go anyway, but like, I'm also like, I don't have anything against my cousin. I could go to that, right? But I just... I'm like, that's a lot to just spring on me. You know? So I ended up saying no, which is a bummer. But I'm sure I'm going to get an earful for it later, which sucks. That sucks. Friday's going to be an interesting time, I'm sure. Excuse me. They don't... My family does... They don't like being told no.
Swift Simeon
But, you know.
said, did you decide on a topic for your podcast?
Okay, so, like, each one for the podcast, each episode is going to be a different topic. I'm not doing like it's not going to be like a podcast dedicated to a specific thing. Back on my old channel, I did a thing called the minicast, and it's basically what I'm going to be doing again, where each episode was just basically something that was on my mind, so it was not like a dedicated thing, if that makes sense. So the first one is going to be just kind of, you know, basically just like what the Misfits Haven's going to be and stuff like that. I'm probably going to have to record that like tomorrow, actually, because I intended for it to come out on my birthday. That might not actually happen, unfortunately. But we're streaming that day, so who cares? So like the first day is gonna just be talking about the Misfits Haven itself and just kind of what the deal is, how it's all gonna work out.
Airsoft Wabbeat said Minicast 2.0.
Basically. Except, just with a theme this time. So, I don't know exactly what the second episode's gonna be just yet, but, like, I'm basically gonna put them out at the beginning of every month, kind of thing.
Tiff
Not sure.
said it's Minnie's podcast, and she'll pod if she wants to.
Damn straight. I mean, if you have suggestions for topics, I'm still totally open to taking more. I haven't written any down since the last time I talked about it, to be honest. So, there will be probably multiple episodes dedicated to accessibility and stuff, but it's not going to be entirely dedicated to it, if that makes sense. So, Speaking of the Misfits Haven, I should consider making an updated tour of the actual manor. Because, like, I don't know if y'all remember that video from a few months back where I was like, oh, I built the Troll Skull Manor in Minecraft. Now, because of events in our campaign, it's called the Misfits Haven, and everybody in our group was cool enough to let me name the podcast after it, so kind of worked out. I just had like a massive brain fart. I'm like, what am I saying? I don't know what I'm saying. You guys, help. Send help, please. I don't even know. I'm tired. That's what it is. I'm tired and sleep deprived. Like, you know what I've been doing the last couple of days? Aside from, sleeping at the wrong time. I got yet another birthday present for myself. Thousand Year Door was supposed to be that. And I got it like a month and a half early. I ended up getting... Some of y'all already saw this in the Discord. But I ended up getting a new Oracle deck. So, I have the moon-themed one, which is like my favorite thing. And then I have this one based on crystals. And it's like a really simple sort of thing. But I've been like messing around with it and just kind of trying to get to know it a little bit and, understand it and stuff. Kind of hard to keep new information in your brain space when sleeping is not happening, It's not, it's not the best, if I'm real. Although I was thinking, I don't know if y'all remember, one of the last times we did a stream like this, we were talking about doing like a, Crystal of the Day thing or something like that. Where I share an entry from the little book on crystals that I have. And just just to kind of put it out there. Just some cool info on crystals. I was thinking about using this oracle deck for that instead. That way, number one, it's easier for me to pick random things and stuff like that. I was thinking about doing it like every once a week or something. Maybe it'll be a once a month thing. I don't know. I seem to have a thing for once a month. Cause like I still have the it's called the Pocket Book of Stones. I still have that. But I also have this cool crystal themed oracle deck and stuff. So like I could do like a sort of, I don't know, I'm not exactly an expert on this kind of thing. So it would be very much a take it with a grain of salt type of deal, but it'd be like a weekly collective community reading, but not. I don't know. I don't know how y'all feel about that, but it's a thought that I had. Because I don't want to, like... I don't know. I thought about doing it on stream, but I don't really have the setup to make that easy to do or convenient, I guess. I don't know. These are thoughts that are happening in my brain space. But, yeah, I mean, I guess you can let me know what you think about that, right? Because, like, I feel like it could be pretty fun. Also, the entries, for the crystal deck, they are definitely a lot shorter than the pocketbook of stones, which is kind of saying a lot, because those entries are actually pretty short, too. But, like, I don't know. It's kind of a whole thing. I'm also like, I'm just like I feel like I'm struggling to think of things to talk about. I was like, let's just vibe and not worry about too much stuff, and I'm like, oh shit, I need to carry a conversation.
Stretch.
That's not a terrible idea. To be completely honest with you. I am sitting in an air-conditioned room and I'm still sweating. It is hot. It is ridiculous. Give me a moment. Let me do that stretch. Let me see if I can get a spine crack up in here. Ooh, there it is. Ah, y'all couldn't hear that. Which is I guess a good thing, but... Let's do another stretch! Ugh. Okay, that worked. I appreciate that.
Have a drink.
Ugh. Wabbit, you're... I shouldn't be surprised you're... You do this every time. Not that I'm
Minimal.
complaining.
Said airsoft underscore wabbit rolled a d20 and got a 4.
Hey. Hey. You know what? It's not a 1. It's not a 1.
Swift Simeon. Said I'm hopefully heading to Japan next year. I'm trying to work out how heavy all the stuff I might bring back will be. Minimal.
Ooh.
Said Swift Simeon rolled a d20 and got a 5.
Hey, two low rolls. Somebody else roll and get a 6. Can we make it happen? Japan, I would love to visit Japan. That sounds like a potentially awesome trip, dude. Like, for real? I would be all up for that. Like, I've wanted to... Oh my god. I'm sorry, I'm brain
Minimal.
farting so much.
Said Tiff Tiffy rolled a d20 and got a 19.
You ruined it. No. I was really hoping for a 6, I'm not gonna lie. I respect it though. I respect it. You almost got the confetti. Almost. But no, for real, Japan sounds like it would be amazing. I've wanted to go for like the longest time. And like,
Swift Simeon. Said I've been wanting to go for a long time but COVID got in the way.
yeah, that's fair.
Tick. Said lol, dang it.
You're fine, Tifa. I still respect that rule. I still respect it. But yeah, COVID kind of ruined fucking everything. Goddamn global panini. I do love... So, one of the funnier things about the pandemic, and it's less about the pandemic itself and more about how people reacted to it, is how people adjusted to calling it random things in order to get not censored on like TikTok or something.
Said Japan's definitely a place I want to visit, but then I saw the prices and thought, never mind.
I feel that. I feel that. One place I thought about going back to is like fucking Portugal. I've thought about it. But I literally can't afford to go there one way. So that ain't that ain't happening, you know? That ain't happening. So I can only imagine how much it would cost me to even get to Japan. Never mind being able to
Swift
like
Simeon.
stay there.
Said at TIFTIFB you can get return flights from London for £650 if you book a year in advance.
Yeah, that's a whole year of like... I never plan for anything that far in advance. I really don't. That is crazy. And even then, to me, I'm like, that's still a lot of cash. That's not a small amount of cash right there. At least not to me, I don't know. I don't know money conversions. I live under a rock. Almost. That's almost literal. I did technically live underground for a while, and by that I mean I was living in a basement. So, you know. See, now I just have the mental image of myself just living under a literal rock. Like Patrick Star style, you know? Can you imagine
Swift
that?
Simeon. Said $1,155 in Canadian Freedom Units.
Yeah. I don't even get that much in a month. So. Nope. That's not happening. Yeah. That is a ridiculous amount of money. I ain't rich. I definitely ain't rich. But you know what? It's fine. We do what we can up in here. We do what we can. Sometimes I make dumb financial decisions and buy games when I shouldn't. And then I end up buying myself a birthday present closer to my birthday because the one thing was supposed to be my birthday present until it wasn't. And then... yeah. It's like a whole thing. I don't know. Sorry, another drink needs to happen. I did not... Wow, I am very out of it today, y'all. I'm so sorry. Part of me is like, how about we make this a Q&A? Which, I mean, I guess we could. But I'm also like... I don't know. I'm literally just here with zero idea what to do. I'm gonna be, like, I'm just... like, I already feel like I'm repeating myself. It's fine. It's fine. We're just here jamming out to
Swift Simeon.
some good music.
Said wow, it costs over double if you fly from Canada. London being the world's transit hub really has its benefits.
Yeah, it's not the best. It's not, you know, flying's expensive. Especially when you're, you know, you're leaving the country and stuff. And that's a whole complicated mess, honestly. Oh, right. Forgot about the ads. Oh, man. Guys, my brain hates me. My brain space hates me. It's not the best. Like, I've seen a ton of videos from, like, other creators, especially some bigger creators, like,
Swift Simeon
about their trips to Japan
said
and
I need
stuff.
to get a visa to visit South Korea for 8 hours for my trip.
Oh, wow. Really? That sounds convoluted. That sounds convoluted and slightly tedious, if I'm being completely honest. Like, is that just for, like, a layover? Because that seems crazy to me. Like, I understand the wait time, but, like, you have to get, like, a whole-ass visa? But then again, to be fair, I've never been in a situation where I've had to get one of those myself, so I have no idea how that works.
Said I'm also doing a cruise around the Japanese islands.
Ooh. Getting fancy up in here. Okay. I see how it is. That sounds insanely fun. That sounds awesome, honestly.
Swift Simeon said it has to stop somewhere not in Japan. The visa-free travel ends in December.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Like, I definitely understand, because I know, like, lots
Swift
of
Simeon
places
said the
will
cruise
stop
was
like
the
that.
cheapest. I'd much rather take the trains.
Ah, fair enough. I mean, the cruise sounds fancy, I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie, like, I'd fucking do it, honestly. It sounds... Oh, words. Words are not coming to me, I'm so sorry. I'm trying to think of where I'd go if I were to go on a trip to Japan. And, like... I mean, Tokyo, I suppose, you know? But, like... I don't know, there's just so many other cool places, too. It'd just be really neat to check out, just in general. Alrighty.
Swift Simeon
Minute and a half
said
with the
it's an
ads.
American cruise comedy. I need to brace myself for the tipping culture.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that shit will drain you, dude. That will drain you. It is genuinely... tipping culture is genuinely depressing.
Swift Simeon
It really is
said
to
the
me.
alcohol prices are already wild. I'll be staying dry the entire trip, lol.
Honestly, that's probably for the best. But yeah, no.
Airsoft Wabbit. Thanks for subscribing for 1 month. Airsoft
Wabbit!
said Moo. Bach 921.
Thank you so much,
Said, is
Wabbit.
Swift getting bougie on us now? Swift Simeon
What's up,
said they want
Beyonce?
$77 USD a day for alcohol.
Oh, fuck that. No. Ain't no fucking way. That is ridiculous. Like, I know the stuff's just expensive in general these days, but that is insane.
Swift Simeon said at Bach 921 I need a bigger top hat if you can't see it from where you are. Airsoft Wabbit
See, now I just want to
said
see you
my
in a
body
giant
is on
top
Taiwan
hat.
time. Bach 921 said $77 a day for booze? Screw that shit.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Fuck that noise. In every single way. Like there is no way I'd be willing to pay that amount for that. I mean, I generally stay away from alcohol, just period, for my own personal reasons. I don't like the way it tastes. It makes me feel not good on the inside. And then there's also a lot of I've seen the dark side of it. I've seen the damage it can really do if abused. And yeah, that's enough to keep me away.
Said unless it's top shelf, I don't want to pay that much a day.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's a lot regardless, you know? Like, that is just a wild amount of money. Especially if you're staying for a long time. Like, that is a lot. That adds up insanely quickly. And, like, you're talking to somebody that,
Swift Simeon.
$77
that's the worst part. If you want the best of the best, you have to pay a surcharge on top, and that's not including tip.
Oh god, and then tip on top of that. I have very mixed feelings about tipping, right? Because on one hand, I'm just like, the idea is, oh yeah, you know, give the person serving you a little extra something for the work that they've done, and sure, right? But also, they depend on the tip because they don't fucking get paid enough. And that to me is fucking ludicrous. It is absolutely asinine to me. And like I've had situations where like there's a weird pressure to tip a certain amount. Right? And I'm like, sometimes I can't afford that amount. Like, sometimes I can only afford the thing I came here to get. So, like, it just sucks. It's not a good time. And it always makes me feel terrible just because I know the situation, and, like, you know. Sometimes I feel just obligated to tip even when I can't. And then I just have to say no anyway.
Rabby.
It's like, dude.
Said 11.55 is 15% tip on $77.
Yeah, see? And like, to me that's a lot. Like, that's so much extra. You know? Like, that is so much. And like, again, I ain't rich. I live on disability and stuff. Like, I don't get, like, with me plus my roommate, like, we're doing okay, right? But we're not in a position to constantly be, you know, tipping big amounts and stuff. And like, I will make the effort to, but sometimes it's hard. You know? Like, it's not... Y'all just pay your people, man. I don't know. I'm not... Words. Holy crap. I'm not in, like, a... debate-ready mental state. I am, like... I really am trying, I promise.
Swift Simeon said it's a 12-day cruise, it would be $924. I paid £850 for a true all-inclusive trip around the Adriatic where there was no tipping and you only had to pay at max £2 more for a top-tier drink.
Wow. That is... This is why I don't travel, that shit's expensive. Which sucks because I would love to do it. Like, that would be so cool. I've got friends that, like, regularly travel and stuff like that. Just because they love it.
Said and the flights were included.
That's crazy. That is crazy. But yeah, like, I've got friends that'll travel just for the sake of traveling.
Said I don't know if bot said it, but I did something.
What did you do? I mean, I saw your sub a little bit ago. Which again, thank you for that. Appreciate it. I really do. Like a lot. Like that is
Airsoft
crazy.
Wabby said that.
Yeah, I said thanks for that the first time. We saw it. I don't know if, I'm pretty sure the alert went off. Should have gone. Because I saw the thing. I definitely heard a thing when it happened. But yeah, you're good. No worries.
Swift Simeon said, but yeah, I am under no delusion this trip is expensive. It is a trip of a lifetime.
That's fair. And it sounds like it'll be awesome. Like, you gotta pay the fuck up, but,
Airsoft
you know,
Wabby
if you can do it.
said, okay, I was in Ad Billy.
Gotcha. No worries. It's all good. Well, I mean, if you were stuck in the ad break, then I suppose you get another thank you. But seriously, thank you. I really do appreciate it. So I'm trying to think, right? Because I would love to just travel. So many of my friends do, just because they can, and they're always having like an awesome time. But I'm always like thinking in the back of my head, like, dude, how are you affording that? And then I remember these people have lives and jobs and stuff, and I'm like, right, that makes sense. And I don't. Not necessarily by choice, though. To be entirely real, I haven't really actively looked lately. So that's, at this point, that's on me. I'll, you know.
Swift Simeon said, glorious Ryanair and 12-pound flights to exotic lands.
No, but that really do sound like an awesome time. It is crazy that in my brain, thinking about taking a cab to the next town over feels like a major financial decision. Like, that's where I'm at, you know?
Airsoft Wabby said, people with more money than me lol.
Right? And I mean, like, I'm good where I'm at. I'm not complaining, really. I'm just also like, man, it'd be really cool to do. But it's just, you gotta pay up for the stuff. I mean, it's probably worth it if you can, hopefully. You know. So, all this to say, I hope you have an amazing time, Swift. I really, really do. Because, like, holy crap. I remember... So, I haven't been to too many places. There was one time when I was 5, I went to Portugal
Airsoft
for a while.
Wabby said same.
And I also went to the States a couple of times on, like, school trips and things. Other than that, I've never been outside the country.
Said London to Barcelona for $15 CAD. It costs me more to take the train to work each day.
London to Barcelona. I mean, 15 ain't that bad. I don't really know the distance on that, to be fair, but geography was never my strong suit. I know that it's like, technically speaking, it's a lot easier to travel around, like, Europe, because, like, the countries over there are a lot smaller by comparison to over here. So, like, the distances between a lot of things aren't always as vast. Obviously, that's not a universal thing. But, I don't know if this is true, but I've heard transportation over there is usually better.
Swift Simeon said 1,150 kilometers.
Okay. I got you.
Airsoft Wabbeat said 937.5 miles.
Yeah, bro, we don't work in freedom distance. I'm gonna be real. I mean, that is a good distance, though, to be fair. That's pretty far. That's pretty fucking far. um Excuse me. My nose is itchy.
So I have this dream where the planet collapses.
I'm trying to think. The weird thing about Canada, right? And like, I feel like some people do it in the States too, but I've seen online people are very confused by this, and I never thought of this as like a thing that people would be confused by. But a lot of the times, like up here, and again, maybe in the States too, when we talk about like, oh, how far away is that from, how far away is this from this thing, right? Like, if I were to say that I'm going to the park and somebody's like, oh, how far is it from your house, right? Instead of giving a distance, it's like, oh, it's like a 10-minute walk. How far is the Costco from your house? Oh, it's about like a 10-minute drive. You know? It's like, it's not distance. It's time. And like, I've heard people do that all my life. Like, that's just how we talk about it, right? And like, the only time I've really heard people talk about specific distances is like when the GPS reads it out or whatever. Or you have to like write it out as part of a math problem or something, right? So like, I don't know how.
Airsoft Wabbeat
I never thought of that.
said we do it down here.
Yeah, right? And like, I've seen a lot of videos about you know, people like saying, oh, it's like a uniquely Canadian thing. I'm like, I don't think it is. I'm pretty sure that's not true. And like, I think I'm just more confused that people are confused by it. And I'm like, is this really a thing that people are confused by? I'm so confused. The confusion confuses me. So, yeah, I don't know.
Swift Simeon
It's weird.
said we do it in the UK as well. Time is the more useful information.
Yeah, right? Okay, so it's, yeah. So like, why are people so confused by it? I think I'm even more confused. Like, I'm sure there are places that don't really do that, right? But like, again, the confusion confuses me more than the thing, you know? The online spaces are so weird. And a lot of times so different than what you would normally see in real life. And it's weirdly easy to get lost in. And now that I think about it, that's actually a little bit concerning. So, yeah. Oh geez, now I'm like, should I make an episode on that? About how I feel about the general state of the internet? Cause, oh boy, it's rough. That's actually another thing that I've seen a lot
Airsoft
lately.
Wabbeat said BRB getting dinner and a drink.
Okay, take your time. But yeah, like, that's another thing I've seen a lot, especially on YouTube, is like all these video essays talking about like the general state of the internet and how everything's monetized and how everything kind of just sucks. And it's such like a doomer vibe, honestly. And like, the problem with it is I get it, because I'm feeling it too. I say this despite being someone that runs ads on their streams and stuff, but like, I try to make them as unintrusive as I can, but you know, um, that's like a whole thing, really. But like, I don't know. And I feel like we've touched on this before, to be fair. So like, I don't know. I have to really think things through before I fucking talk, you know? But I'm like, part of me is like, I don't know, maybe I should make an episode on it. But on the other hand, I'm like, I don't know that I have anything new to add to the conversation. Like, I always end up in situations where, like, you know, somebody's like, oh, you should talk about this thing. And, like, you know, you probably have some insight on this thing or that thing or whatever. Insert thing here. And I'm like, most of the time, I'm just like, loads of people have already talked about XYZ to death. And I don't know that I have anything new to add to the conversation. You know? Most of the time. So I'm just like, what do I even say? Like, I don't know. Because I don't want to just make shit up. I guess it'd be really easy for me to just bullshit something and be like, boom, content. But I'm like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I want to, if I'm going to make something.
Swift Simeon said, forget when we people get to Mars. When will Mars get internet?
Oh my god, yeah. Like, that'd be wild. Like, I've thought about, like, genuinely, I've thought about, like, you know, especially my use of the internet, right? Because, like, for me, it's, at this point, pretty much a lifeline. Like, it's necessary for communication, because, like, there are very few people I talk to over the phone. The only person that really calls me over the phone is, like, my mom and, like, one of my best friends. And that's, like, pretty much it. Everybody else is through some sort of online service. And even then, my friend uses FaceTime, which requires internet. So, yeah. And, like, for me, it's necessary for, like, navigation and stuff like that. Like, you know? And then I'm just on it constantly, watching videos and rotting my fucking brain. And just... It's everywhere. It's absolutely everywhere. And it's... At least for me, it's just become such, like... You know, you move into a new place, what's the first thing you do besides unpack your shit? Make sure the internet's hooked up, you know what I mean? Like, it's so necessary. And, like, even back in school, it was absolutely necessary to have in order to complete assignments and stuff. And when I was in school, I had to get on the administrative Wi-Fi, because the student Wi-Fi had, like, almost every site blocked. So that was fun. I'm like, how do y'all expect me to do my homework when I can't get on Wikipedia? Like, I couldn't even get, like, you couldn't even do that, you know what I mean? So, like, I went on the... it actually wasn't even me, it was, like, another one of my friends back then actually figured it out. And it was because he clicked on the incorrect network by mistake and didn't realize it. So he thought that he just made a typo with the password, so tried a slightly different variation, and by that I mean literally one number difference, and it worked. And then he realized he was on the wrong network, and was like, did I just accidentally hack the school's network? So he shared it with a few specific people that wouldn't, like, rat him out. And, like, that's how we were able to finish our assignments. Because everything was ridiculous. But, like, it's just kind of crazy how the internet has just become a part of everything. You know. I need another drink. I should have brought water, actually, with me. This is where we're at. Should have brought liquids. How long have I been sitting here? I think that's the question. How long have I been here? Almost an hour. I haven't even hit an hour yet. Like, very close, to be fair. Like, 5 minutes off. But, like, I don't know how long I'm gonna go today, if I'm being completely real. I'm just here vibing. I don't know. Part of me is like, is there anything you guys want to ask me? But I'm also like, I feel like that's just putting y'all on the spot, and I'm really bad for doing that. Kind of hard to think of something when you're just like sort of put on the spot, and that's not... Like, I hate that. Because, like, sometimes that happens to me where, like, some people will just, like, I don't know. That happens a lot with my family. Like, they'll be talking about something, and they'll, just sort of bring me into the conversation even though I've had nothing to do with it, and they're just like... And, like, so I won't even be paying attention to what they're saying because I'm like, yeah, I'm not eavesdropping, right? And then they'll just be like, oh yeah, isn't that right? And I'm like, huh? Oh, yeah, sure, whatever. I don't know what I just agreed to. Maybe I just signed my soul away or something. But like, sure, whatever. That's where that's where I'm at half the time. So I'm like, I don't want to put you guys on the spot too. That would kind of suck, I imagine. But like, and see, my problem too is I'm like, maybe I should think of questions to ask you guys. You know, not that you're obligated to answer. That's completely your prerogative. But like, I'm just like, you know, maybe I should think of something to ask you guys. And then I can never think of anything. Like, I don't know. How do conversations work? Help. Like, like, I'm just like, I don't know how to converse. Send help. This is where we are.
Airsoft Wabbeat
This is where we are.
said yes.
Right? Like, you can't, like, how do you respond? You just smile and wave. Smile and wave, boys. Smile and wave. So you just turn into, one of the penguins from, fucking Madagascar. God, those movies were so weird. The cartoon was even, like, the actual show was even weirder. Like, have y'all thought, like, especially back in, like, the, like, early 2000s, like, 90s, early 2000s, where, like, you would have, like, a show. I guess this was more common in the early 2000s. Like, you'd have a movie, right? Like, say, Little Mermaid. It would get a sequel, and then it would also get, like, a spin-off TV show. Happened a lot with Disney cartoons, actually, now that I think about it. Probably still does, but I'm, like, less in touch with that than I used to be. I don't really follow Disney that much anymore, really. Not really on purpose, I just sort of don't. You know? I don't know, it's always just weird to me. And I mean, I get it, you have a successful franchise, I almost said franchise. You have a successful franchise and you do whatever you can to make the monies. You know? You milk that cash cow. Like, I totally get it. Completely understand. Y'all, I don't even know what I'm talking about today. I really, really don't. Today's gonna be that one where I can't keep a straight thought for, like, more than 5 seconds. Cause, like, it's either I go on a tangent, or I, like, freeze for a couple seconds because my brain stops working. And, like, I was kind of hoping that this would sort of kickstart my brain a little bit, because I'm like, Oh, I gotta think of
Swift
things to
Simeon
talk to
said
people
how many
about.
films is too many for a franchise?
I think that how many films is too many? I think that depends on the franchise, honestly. Because there have been plenty where I'm like, one is enough. We don't need any more than that. And then there are others where I'm like, you know, maybe 2, 3. I don't know. And then of course you get stuff like the Marvel Cinematic Universe that's kind of gone on for a hot
Swift
minute.
Simeon said Marvel being over 20 and insane to try and come into.
Yeah. Yeah. And see, like, I started out with, like, the original Iron Man and stuff like that. And, like, Thor and the Avengers and stuff. And then, like, just kind of as it's just gone on, I've just kind of lost interest because there's so much of it to keep track of. And it's like, oh, well, you need to watch this to know what's going on in this one. And then you just need to watch this other one to also know what's going on in this other one. And then, like, it's just, there's so much. It's so dense. And I'm like, I'm sure they're great films, right? Because I'm going to be completely real, I have not seen them all. And I've heard that, for the most part, they do really, really well. And the majority of people that I know that talk about them really, really enjoy them. So I'm sure they're great. I'm just like, listen, it's a lot. It's a lot, and I don't really have the desire to put the brain power into keeping track of it all, honestly. But I'm sure those that do have the willingness to do that will have a good time, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to diss them or anything. I can't really say something is bad if I haven't ever seen it, right? 'Cause I feel like that would just be premature judgment, and that's a pet peeve of mine. I dislike it when people do that, so, like, it'd be kind of shitty if I did that myself. So, I don't know. I feel like a 20-plus film franchise is just, it's a lot. It's so much. And, like, I get it. They made a ton of cash on those, you know? I understand why they did it. But I'm also like, yeah, I think I'm good. If I'm being completely real. I think I'm good. I have a nail. This is completely, complete side tangent. I have a nail that I had apparently cut wrong last time, and it's grown back weird. So I have this weird claw on the side of my nail. And I'm trying to, like, get it off without absolutely obliterating my nail. Apparently I'm just really bad at cutting my nails. I think that's the takeaway. I need to scratch my ear, hang on.
So I have this dream
Okay.
where the planet collapses.
You know what? I have a question. I'm gonna ask it when the ad break ends. It should be real soon. Should be in the next couple of, like, half a minute, I guess. But, what was I saying, though, before that? We were talking about movies. But yeah, I don't really know the answer to that question of how many films is too many. I don't really know. I feel like usually 2 or 3 is fine. Like, at most. I don't know. That's just me, though. But, hopefully, welcome back from the ads, everybody. I have a question, actually, that I thought about. I was having a conversation with my roommate the other day, and we talked about, like, a ton of stuff. But one thing we ended up talking about was Dragon Ball. and I mentioned that I wasn't like a big fan of GT. And like he actually urged me to give it another chance because he's like, I feel like it's better than a lot of people give it credit for. And like I was like, I like a lot of the ideas in Dragon Ball GT, but I don't know about the execution. I don't know. Right? But I decided, you know what? I am gonna give it a shot. So I booted up Crunchyroll and I found GT. And it's, you know, it's the Funimation dub because they own Crunchyroll now apparently. So it's all their stuff on there pretty much. Now the dub that I saw when I was a kid, I believe was a different one. And I really did not enjoy it when I was younger. But like, I'm not very far in. But I'm like, you know, maybe it is a little bit better than I gave it credit for. You know? So my question to you is, what is one show or movie that you didn't like at first, but turned out to be better than you thought when you gave it another chance? I still don't know if GT is going to end good or whatever. I don't know how that's going to go down.
Swift
So far it's
Simeon
not as bad as I remember.
said I watched all of Bleach and that was my anime for a lifetime.
Fair enough. We're still working our way through Bleach. We haven't even finished that yet. Drill's been watching it with us quite a bit. Bleach was one of those ones where I would see on TV every now and then. But because I was, you know, still a kid at the time, my mom would always get pissed if I stayed up past like 10. And it would always come on at like, I don't know, maybe 10:30. So if I was lucky, I would catch like a bit of it. So I'd only seen like portions of a couple of episodes up until we started watching it with like Simon and Tifa and Drill and anyone else who's decided to join us basically for it. I don't know what we're gonna watch after that, to be honest. I thought about proposing Justice League just because I fucking love me some DC, and I'm talking about the cartoon from the 2000s. You know, in my opinion, among the best that the DC animated universe has to offer. At least my favorite incarnations, anyway. That shit was my era. That was another thing I hated when I was a kid. I did not care for Justice League when I was a
Bleach
kid.
for me. Action anime is one of the few types I don't normally watch, but I've really enjoyed Bleach so far.
That's fair. That is completely fair. But yeah, Justice League is another one of those shows for me that I really didn't like when I was younger, and didn't really appreciate until I went to college, and I watched through the entirety of it with my brother. And we also watched, like, we ended up, like, marathoning the entire DCAU.
Said, not that I'm biased because a certain actor plays the best boy, hee.
I mean, you know, that is definitely a factor. And I respect that. I'm definitely one of those people where, like, if my favorite actor isn't a thing, I'm always happy about it, right? Especially if I can recognize them. But I also equally don't care if they're not in a thing. Because I'm like, as long as the thing is good, regardless of their presence, I'm happy. You know? I don't like to restrict what I watch based on who's in it. If a thing is good,
Swift Simeon
then a thing is good.
Said I didn't get into anime until late teens, had a binge watch couple years and I'm mostly done with it now.
I mean, that's fair. I definitely love a good anime. I haven't really been watching like a lot of newer ones lately. Usually I just kind of watch whatever catches my interest, but I tend to personally stay away from a lot of live action stuff just because I can't see it as well. So, that's just a personal thing. You know. I like the bright, stylized things. Sometimes it's literally that simple for me. I'm just like, I like the pretty colors.
Swift Simeon said Mushi Shi was always my favorite.
Ooh, that one was good. I enjoyed that one. That was like weirdly chill, but also like kind of creepy sometimes. That one's good. That was one of the first ones I saw when I got Netflix back in the day. Back when it was on Netflix and they took it off. I actually found it on Crunchyroll a couple months back and I was like, ooh, watching that. You know? Oftentimes I'll go back to shows like that were around when I was a kid that I didn't appreciate back then. And like, you know, perspective is a weird thing because I've definitely learned to appreciate a lot of things that I did not give enough credit to when I was a kid. Which is unfortunate, you know? But you know, here we are.
Swift Simeon said I enjoyed Odd Taxi, which is probably the most recent anime I've seen.
That one I haven't seen. I don't think I've ever actually heard about that one. There's a lot I haven't seen. I often miss out just because I can't really read subtitles effectively. And like I know I've talked about this before. There is a way for me to, especially if I'm using something on like the phone or something. I know that this works on Mac as well, where you can have VoiceOver read out subtitles. And that's cool and everything, like genuinely awesome.
Swift Simeon
I love that that's a thing.
said it was Netflix, so it has a good dub. It's only 13 episodes.
Got you. That's probably why I haven't seen it. But yeah, like, I can get screen readers to read subtitles, but I find that most of the time when it does that, it tends to duck the audio of the actual show. So I'm hearing the screen reader over everything else, which makes sense if I'm trying to actually use it to, you know, read. But I find that it, at least for me personally, it just tends to distract from the experience rather than actually helping me, because I'm trying to like hear the audio under the thing talking at me. So I'm like barely paying attention to either thing, and some people can do it. And you know, if it works for you, that is genuinely fantastic. But I just find it more of a distraction and frustration than an actual help, personally. So, like, I tend to miss out a lot because, you know, unfortunately for me, and my brain, which is apparently terrible with languages, it's either dubs or kinda nothing, unfortunately. It's either that or I'm pausing every 5 seconds, which I have done before. But, I mean, there's a reason I don't do that anymore, because it's just, I don't need to take an hour to watch a 20-minute episode, I'm sorry. I don't have the patience for that. I really, really don't. Especially if you end up in one of those moments where a character's speaking and their lines go by really quickly, just so that the subs will keep up. And then you miss it, so then you have to like rewind a tiny bit just to catch that one line that is potentially important. And like, you won't know if it is until you go back, only to find out, yeah, it wasn't really that important. So then you like stop doing it, only to realize
Simeon
at least one or two of
said,
those
"Have
lines
you
was
seen The Garden
important.
of Words? It's a short film, 43 minutes.
Can't say that I have, no. Do I have more things to look up and watch? I may. I have been looking for new stuff to watch lately. And I mean, like, I've been vibing with GT so far. Which, like, you know, hopefully it stays a pleasant experience to watch. I'm gonna try to be open-minded about it, you know? Because GT is a show that I really hated. I was so disappointed by it back in the day. But to be fair, it's been a very long time, so. But yeah, the Garden of Words, that's not one I've heard of. But I mean, I'll take a short film. Why the heck not? What is that? What is that on, actually? I mean, I guess I could Google that. Yeah. Gotta Google that real quick. Like, you know what? If I can find it, if I can spell right. Oh, it is on Crunchyroll. Okay. Cool. Well, I guess I do in fact have something to watch later. Also Netflix. Okay. Alright. Very cool. See, I'll always look on, like, you know, when you start up any one of those apps, right? Like Netflix or like Crunchyroll or whatever, right? You always get, like, all that stuff on the homepage, but, like, every time I look through it, it's always the same shit. It very rarely changes for me. Like, I'll almost never click on anything that shows up on, like, the recommended, oh, like, this is based on the fact that you watched this show. Here's, you know, this thing that you've already seen recommended to you in another category 6 times. And I'm like, okay, that's cool and everything. But don't you think if I was gonna watch it, I would have clicked on it by now?
Said the night is short. Walk On Girl is a weird favorite for me. The film is just a fever dream.
Okay. I'm down for cool, random, weird shit. Cool. I'll take it. I will definitely look those up later, because I'm always down to watch new shit, so why not, right? Sorry, I'm absolutely vibing to the music right now. Absolutely vibing. But yeah, no, sometimes looking through, like, the recommended feeds pisses me off, because I'll see the same thing recommended to me, like, 8 times, and I'm like, that's great! I'm sure it's fantastic.
Swift Simeon.
But
Said if you want to go old school. Lupin the Third films are good, but they only seen the first 2.
I have heard of those. Never seen them myself. But the name rings a bell. I don't know much about them, but I think I've, like, heard the name, like, on, like, top 10 lists or whatever back in the day. Excuse me. But yeah, I've definitely heard those are good. I kind of want to rewatch, like, Spirited Away and shit at some point. Because I fucking love Spirited Away. It's such a good time. There's some freaky shit in that movie, but it's so good. What was I saying? I feel like I got myself derailed. I derailed myself. Right. No, I remember where I'm at. It kind of sucks when, like, cause I'm still ranting about the stupid recommended sections on these apps, right? Because we'll take a show, for example, My Hero Academia. Great show, right? But I don't need it to be recommended to me under every single category. Literally the first thing I see, I'll see on my homepage My Hero Academia like 8 times before I see anything else. And I'm like, I've already seen it, for one. Maybe I'll think about watching it again someday, but certainly not for a while. I don't need to see it on my feed like 8 times. I want to see something else, please. You know? So, like, it's such a terrible way to find new shows, honestly. Like, sometimes you get lucky, but I find that it's just easier to find stuff through, like, word of mouth. Because, like, chances are your friends will know a thing
I'll be
that
right back.
you don't have. Yeah, no worries. Take your time. But yeah, it's weird to me in a system where stuff is meant to be recommended to you and stuff. Like, it's weirdly unhelpful. And I would rather just ask my friends, hey, do y'all know a good anime I could watch? Because chances are they'll recommend me something that I would never have found on my own. Not always a hit, but you know, it's better than seeing My Hero Academia recommended on a list 8 times. Again, My Hero Academia is great, but no thanks. No thanks to the 8 recommendations. It's such a weird thing to the point where I'm turning the show down just because I've seen the fucking poster for it a million times on the app. And I think that's sad. That should never be a reason to turn down a show. That actually genuinely bugs me. But I mean, it's fine. I feel like similar things happen on like other apps and stuff. Like the Nintendo eShop just tends to recommend like very I don't know, stuff that I'm just generally uninterested in for the most part. I don't know. This makes me feel kind of hipstery if I'm being real. Like, it's like, I don't want what the masses want. And it's like, I mean, that's not entirely true. To be real. Like, I would be lying if I said that and genuinely meant it. Because, like, I mean, yeah, it's true to an extent, but it's not universally true, I guess is what I'm trying to say. It's like a whole thing. I'm gonna have all these songs stuck in my head again. It's I have cursed myself. Not that I'm complaining. I'm really not. But you know. It's good stuff. I love these songs so much. I was gonna I had another thought in my brain space. And now I'm like, fuck, what was it? What was I gonna talk about? Fucking, I don't know, send help. I have officially run out of Coke. Officially run out. I mean, I could literally just get up and go get a drink. I probably should. But I feel like at this point, if I'm gonna get up, I'm probably just gonna end it. Because I don't know what else to talk about. I don't want to go yet, though. I really don't. I'm just saying if I get a drink. Which, again, should. But I'm not going to. Is that a good idea? No, it's not. But since when have I ever had good ideas? I'm sure there's a genuine, true answer to this question. I don't even know. I don't even know anymore, y'all. I really don't. It's fine. It's absolutely fine. I'm trying to think, though. Because, obviously, we're going to start Paper Mario in a couple of days. I guess I might as well think about what we're going to do after, right? We're going to start Paper Mario the Thousand Year Door on August 3rd. It's going to be a whole thing. We're going to continue Mystery Dungeon for a while, because I do want to actually, like, finish the post-game content. Not necessarily 100% the game, but, you know, get through all the, whatever plot there is left. And then I'm like, what else do I want to do? Because I'm not sure how long either series will go on. No idea. I don't think it's going to work out like the original Paper Mario, where I was basically doing more or less one chapter per video, or per stream. Which, some I split into two, but I don't think it's going to work out quite like that. And that's okay, that's actually probably for the best. But, yeah, I'm not sure. Because we've got... I know Holly was wanting to start Coffee Talk episode 2 in, like, maybe September? Maybe. But I'm also like, I don't know, maybe I want something else going on, but I'm also like, is that too much? Because there's also the Danganronpa Let's Play that I'm doing with Simon. And now there's going to be the Misfits Hideaway, thing.
Swift Simeon
So I'm like,
said I'm back.
welcome back! I'm just sort of, talking out loud about, I guess, what stuff I'm gonna do. So I'm like, is Paper Mario and Mystery Dungeon, like, is that gonna be enough? Just because I have other stuff on the go, right? I don't want to bite off too much, like, more than I can chew. You know? Maybe the two will be fine for now. But it's like, what'll I do after, right? It'll be a whole thing. Ugh, I need to, like... I feel like I want to get, like, a proper computer chair at some point. Mainly because, the chair that I have, it's got a tiny bit of padding, but not a ton. And it's just like an old wooden chair that I guess my mom had that somebody gave her. And I'm like, okay, I mean, that's cool and everything. But I would love one that actually gives me a little bit more height. Because sometimes it's hard to see what's at the top of the screen here. And I would love some height to help with that. You know, because I mean, I could just magnify it and whatever, but I don't know. Sometimes accessibility is a matter of positioning. You know? It's multiple things, really, if you think about it. But, you know, it's a whole thing. Sometimes it's not necessarily what tools you have, but how you have them set up. And it could be as simple, in some cases, or helpful, in a lot of cases, as having the correct seating apparatus. Yep, that's what I'm calling it. That's where I'm at. And like,
Swift Simeon
you
said
know.
every tool is a hammer.
Yes. Absolutely. I actually got a magnifying glass a couple weeks ago, speaking of accessibility. It works really well. A little bit too well, actually. So, it's a times 30 magnifying glass, and it has a smaller lens that's times 40. And I'm like, that's dope as hell. Because, and I got it for like, fuck, how much did I pay for this? It was less than $30 on Amazon. Right? You know what? You want to know what pisses me off about that? Because, so this magnifying glass, it's really powerful, and it has an insanely powerful light. And you're like, you know, a magnifying glass that lights up and is
Swift
that
Simeon
strong for...
said, are the ants already calling you the Great Destroyer?
No. I do not plan on setting fires with this thing. That is funny, though. Here's the thing that pisses me off. Back in 2012, I went to the CNIB, right? For those who don't know what that is, that's the Canadian National Institute for the Blind, right? They have a little store there, like they have a lot of services and stuff. And they had a little store, and I was like, I want to get a magnifying glass, because I'm going to need it for school. Right? I was just going into college. I was afraid that they weren't going to have my accessible books ready and stuff, and I was correct. So I was like, I need a magnifying glass just in case. And the strongest they could get me without me having to go to an eye doctor was a 10x, 10 times magnification. Right? And it had a little LED in it, and it was battery powered. And that alone, on its own, cost me $50 cash. And this thing is so much more powerful, and it cost me around half that. Granted, this is like over 10 years later, but like, looking at the CNIB, they're still telling me that $50 price for the 10X. And this is $30 and $40. The other one was just a $10. And I'm like, yo, y'all are trying to help. Why you price gouging your shit? Why am I in a position where I'm turning down the services that are meant to help? Because I can just go online and find something better for less. Like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how many people run into that type of problem. I'm gonna be real. But it is a problem. It is a frustrating problem to have. Because, like, growing up especially, like, I was being told, like, oh, you know, CNIB is going to be, like, the only thing that you should rely on and stuff like that. Everything else, oh, they're not, like, you know, they're not as good because they haven't been verified by the CNIB or whatever. And it's just, it's not fucking true. The CNIB has some stuff that can be helpful, but I'm like, I don't want to buy anything from them.
Simeon said once you say a tool is for a specific task, it skyrockets the price.
It's so ridiculous, because it's like, it's just a magnifying glass. It's just a magnifying glass. And, like, you get so much equipment made for disabled people that, like, it's just a ridiculous price, because, like, nobody else is making it. There's probably only, like, one or two companies making certain things for certain people. So they basically have a monopoly on it. So they can charge as much as they fucking want. And there's like no competition for a lot of these things. Again, not universal, but a lot of these things there's no competition for. So they can get away with charging like insane prices, and then like they have to invent a bunch of social programs to make it possible for anyone that actually needs it to get it. And I'm like, that seems insane to me. I understand that some of these things are costly to develop and produce. I get that. Right? And I understand as a business, you're going to want to make a little bit of profit. Understandable. Got it. But holy shit, I should not... I'm sorry. I'm sure the people selling this magnifying glass that I bought from on Amazon still made a profit. Despite me paying half of what I paid in 2012 for a weaker magnifier. I'm just saying. The problem with this magnifying glass, though, the problem with this new one, the light's a little bit too strong. I can't use it for long periods of time. Because by the time I'm done, it kind of fucks up my eye a little bit. So I'm like, okay, yeah, gonna not use that super frequently. Or sometimes I'll just have the overhead light on and not turn the light on the small lens, so that when I'm using the small lens, the light from the big lens is like diluted a little bit, so it's not as direct. You know? Like, it's still bright.
Simeon said the LEDs are often set too bright and then end up dying in half the time they could live.
Yeah. And I suspect that might be the case with this one. Because this thing is more powerful than most flashlights I've ever seen in my life. I can light up I can light up this entire apartment in pitch darkness with this magnifying glass alone. It's like, it's as bright as the fucking sun. I'm It is absolutely ridiculous. Like, it's insanely helpful because I have to be really, really close to whatever I'm reading. So the light's helpful because you know, my head tends to block out all the light. So I need a magnifying glass that lights up. But oh boy. This thing is redonkulous. Like, why? Why does it need to be this bright? Like, I'm gonna burn holes in my retinas, and those are already fucked to begin with. I don't need to fuck them up more. Ultimately, I am grateful that I have it, though. I'm glad I was able to find it. Because it is working. It's working as intended. I just have to be, you know, I just have to be smart about how I use it so I don't end up blinding myself. Which is concerning that that's a concern, but I mean, technically speaking, me doing anything that uses vision, which is everything, is a risk factor for me, so it's just kind of, I'm damned if I do and damned if I don't. There's not really an in-between for me, unfortunately. You know. Unfortunately for me, there is not a whole heck of a lot I can do about that. But we're here, we're doing our stuff, and it's all good. Okay, let me think. What else can I complain about? I feel like that's what I do half the time, is I end up just complaining about random shit. Like, I know that's not universally the case. Man, that whole it's not universal thing is just kind of a trend with me lately. I don't know, I feel like I do it a lot though, you know? Because, like, me, as grateful as I am for this magnifying glass, still found something to complain about. I feel like it's a valid complaint. I'm not saying it isn't, but god damn. I want to enjoy shit without having to worry about whether or not it's good, you know? I just want to enjoy things. My brain's not letting me enjoy things. And of course, my brain is, well, me. So I guess I'm not letting myself enjoy things, and that's a thing I need to unpack. So, yay? Ah, fuck. I don't even know. The good thing about, I mean, it's not really a good thing, because I'd love to read for longer than I than I do with this thing. I don't tend to use it for long periods of time. Partly because I can't, it's too much strain, but it does work. So if I need to read something real quick, like the guidebooks for my Oracle deck, I can. Because these guidebooks, they are very small. Like, they fit in the palm of your hand small. And I have two now, since I have two decks, right? And the one guidebook is thinner, narrower, and shorter. By, like... So it's thinner, let's see. Yeah, it's about half the thickness of my Moonology deck. The Crystal Oracle is about half the thickness. It is about a centimeter narrower and about half a centimeter shorter than the other book. And I realize that's not really giving you any perspective. I have no idea how big these books are. They're very small. They fit like in the palm of my hand. They are very small. So the print in them is obviously very, very tiny. And the reason the Crystal Oracle guidebook is so narrow, or so thin, is because it does not include the images of the cards, whereas the Moonology guidebook does, and also has much longer descriptions and stuff like that, so there's a lot more to read in the one versus the other. Despite one of them having less cards than the other. It's a whole thing. But yeah, I'm definitely thinking about, I guess drawing a card for the Discord every month. Seeing how that... every week or every month, I don't know. Seeing how that plays out. Maybe. Still haven't made a call on that. I don't know. Alrighty. I think I may actually want to go find some food. That's what I think. Maybe. Maybe I'll make some KD today. I'm kind of feeling... yeah. I'm kind of feeling like I feel like... here's my dinner plans, right? My oh-so-sophisticated dinner plans. Craft dinner. So good old mac and cheese. Maybe throw a little bit of extra cheese in there. A little bit of actual cheese in there. But I'm also gonna, like, chop up a hot dog. And just... have some hot dog with it. It's good shit. It's good shit. I think that's gonna be my dinner plans.
Said I've been enjoying cucumber sandwiches in all this heat.
Oh, fair enough. I'm not particularly a fan of cucumber, but I respect the choice. I respect the choice. That's a healthy choice, to be fair. Unlike me, who's been having fucking muffins and Tim Hortons and... I actually got Popeyes the other day, and that was delicious. We got spicy chicken sandwiches and stuff. And I got poutine because I'm a fiend. Cajun poutine. Really, really good shit. I'm a fiend for poutine, so it's kind of a whole thing. Alrighty, y'all. I think that I am actually going to pursue those dinner plans. So before we do all the things that involve us winding down for the day, I'm gonna post a thing in the Discord a little bit later.
Someone mentions poutine. Minnie, you called?
Damn straight. No, okay. Before we do anything, Tifa, you just reminded me about a story. So I have a very, very deep and profound love for cheese. Like, I adore cheese. It is one of my favorite things, one of my favorite foods. Like, so goddamn much. Anything with cheese in it, on it, cheese by itself, I will eat the shit out of that, right? It became a running joke because, it became a running joke that I had, like, a cheesy sense, kind of like a Spidey sense, but for cheese. Because anytime my brother or any of my friends or my brother's girlfriend at the time made anything with cheese in it, I would coincidentally be there, present for the cheese. Right? And then they started joking that I was secretly listening in. So they're like, so at first it was cheesy sense, and then they were like, no, she's actually in the background just listening in, and then anytime any of us mention cheese, she just shows up. They summon me with cheese, basically. Right? But there was this one instance where I was chilling in the living room, I had my headphones on, I was listening to random YouTube videos, just vibing, completely, like, tuning out the world. I had no idea, you know, what anyone was talking about. Right? So, you know, my brother and his then girlfriend, they were talking about some type of food, and all I hear between videos switching over is the word cheese. That's all I hear. Like, completely out of context, I just hear one of them say cheese. As they were talking about something. So I take off my headphones, and I was like, did somebody say cheese? And so it just became a joke. The one word I heard, genuinely, was the word cheese. I heard nothing else from that conversation. And they teased me about it for years after that. So...
Tiff says cheese, refuses to elaborate and leaves. That's a legend right there.
Oh no, they stuck around, because they did tell me, I forget what it was, they were gonna make something, and they're like, yeah, we're just gonna put cheese in it, or whatever, and that's just when I happened to hear it, right? So it's like, did somebody mention cheese? And they just start laughing. They did inform me of the dinner plans, and I was like, oh, fuck yeah. I forget exactly what it was. But, it was a great... It was really funny, because to me, I was like, wait, why are you laughing? And they're like, that's the one thing out of this entire conversation that you heard. And I'm like, y'all were having a conversation? I was just watching YouTube videos. It was great. I'm so glad I could tell that story. Okay. Tifa, it's your fault. I appreciate it, though. Excuse me. Alright. Speaking of cheese, it's dinner time. So, before I head off, two things. Number one...
Tiff said sorry, not sorry.
I'm not at all surprised. So, a couple things. Number one, birthday stream is happening on my birthday, because plans have changed. So, August 3rd at 4 p.m. Eastern, we are going to be starting Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door. Simon should be joining us that day. So, it'll be a good time. And other thing, for anybody that's hanging out that happens to be new, here is the link to my Discord. It's the best place to get notified when stuff comes out, or if you just want to hang out, or whatever. It's all good. There are the things. As always, I appreciate you guys hanging with me. I'm sorry I've been so weird today. With any luck, we'll be back with Mystery Dungeon on Thursday. And yeah, it will hopefully be a good time. But yeah, thank you again for chilling with me. I'm gonna go make some dinner. Have yourselves a good rest of your night.
No worries. Have a good one, Minnie.
You too, Tifa.
Swift Simeon said thanks for stream. Have a good day, everyone.
You too, Swift. I appreciate y'all. Peace.
Took me this long to figure out it's not the size of ego, but what you do with it. But it's a cop-out to blame this town, and it's a cliche, but watch me take this bullet and blame myself instead. It goes letting go again. This is no apology, 'cause if it was, I'd screw it up. You know I just can't seem to shut my mouth and cut my losses.